pena, con muchas cosas buenas. We're gonna dive in and meet some shameless personalities.
Guys, your setups are so cute.
How are you? How's it going?
It's going okay. I'm just in my casita, doing my thing.
Doing your thing.
You are in your studio, your closet studio.
I am in my closet studio. Yes, this is it. It is so small. I have to play my guitar sideways. Like I have to angle my body like leaning. I'm shredding. Like it's kind of like vertical.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Just you shredding on it,
Yeah,
that's good.
She smashes the guitar,
Smash it just straight into the wall.
every time. But you actually you record your songs, you do your stuff there, right?
I do, yeah. That's a quarantine activity. If I've ever had one, that's my main thing. Is I was like, wow, people are recording things in their closets. Okay, so we did the Little Montgomery podcast in here, and Tim got me this cool microphone, and then I was like, wow, what else can I do with this?
You've done so much. Yes,
Yeah.
like that. You've done beautiful things with that. I actually.
No.
Okay, first of all, yes, because I was playing music in my car the other day with my family in there, and I just put my liked songs playlist, because when in doubt, just go to your liked songs. Of course, Ayúdame pops up.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And my dad was driving, and he's like, oye, pero tremendo ritmo. Yeah, no, he's like, tremendo ritmo y una voz increíble esta muchachita. And I kept on telling him, Papi, tú la conoces. You know who that is. You've met her. And then when I explained to him, with your character on Men on Boats, he's like, pero esa chiquita con tremenda voz, mi ma. Wow. I'm like, yep.
That's so cute. I love that.
A force to be reckoned with.
You are maybe my 10th friend that tells me that their parents really love Ayúdame and vibe to it. And I think it's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's a vibe. And then I showed him Dear John, but I told him, you're not going to understand this one probably as much, but it still has good ritmo. That's literally, he's like, no, pero tremendo ritmo. This one too. With Dear John, it has that little, I am undone.
My hair is down.
Yes.
You want to take off your hair too?
You want to take off your wig off? Take off your hair.
So those songs, though, the Dear John and Ayúdame are part of the almost release album, or will
Honey Girl, right? Honey Girl?
Yeah,
Honey Girl.
That's the goal. I think I'm getting a little bit, my friend Seth put a perfect word for it, trigger shy. It's you have a project that you made and you're really scared to it's like a slingshot, and you did all this tension and energy to release it, and then it's really scary to let go and just do it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. So something really unfortunate happened a couple of months ago where I lost a lot of songs. I lost 3 completed songs and about 3 or 4 songs that were really near completion. But I had recorded them all on my laptop, and because they were so fresh, I hadn't memorized them. It was just oh, this is kind of the vibe. So I very stupidly didn't write anything down. I just did it on my laptop, and it crashed and it died, and I couldn't recover my data. And that was a big I'm never gonna do anything else again. But then Ian was really encouraging. My friends, obviously, you guys are oh, I love your stuff, and it made me feel nice. So I've been writing again. So I've been writing new songs, and now I have about 9 songs. I need just a few more. I hope to release in April, and it'll be really cute. It'll be cool. I don't know.
I'm excited. What was the inspiration? Yeah, talk to us about Honey Girl. What was the inspiration for it? Where were you yeah, I want this music? I know Ayúdame, a big inspiration was your culture and who you are as a Cuban American woman. But with Honey,
yeah.
I loved it all. So talk to us about Honey Girl. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Sure, yeah. Well, I'm only doing this because of the quarantine. I think I never like let myself do things that scare me too much, except unless they're like in my acting career. And when that was ripped away from all of us, I started just writing my own little songs, and it's been therapeutic. Like I've just been like, okay, well, who am I when I don't have theater? Who am I when I don't have film? And it's been really nice because I haven't revisited who like that like core center of who I am in so long because acting has been my world for 7 years. Um, so yeah, through music, I started kind of exploring there. So I Ayúdame was like a big aha moment for me of like I've had these two parts of myself that have felt very separate, like my upbringing with my grandma and my mom and my dad. Is like so lovely, but something that not a lot of my friends, like American friends, understand. Like they don't understand some of the culture, and they, yeah. So there's been this like, oh, I've like kind of pushed myself away from like how I present myself to the world of like my family, my culture, my everything, just because it was like, oh, I don't have time for it. All I have to do is work. So it was really beautiful to be like, what are the songs from my childhood? So I listened to a bunch of Buena Vista Social Club and a bunch of Celia Cruz. And I was like vibing to one day I just was running in Hialeah. I live in Hialeah. And I was running. I ran.
Hialeah, mommy.
Hialeah,
That's right, baby.
and I was running around and Chan Chan came on and I was like, oh my God, I forgot. I can't believe I forgot the song. And I'm like, it feels horrible. Like I felt like, wow, I've been wasting so much time listening to so much music that is not like to this caliber. It's just so good. So for the rest of my run, I went miles and miles. All I listened to was Chan Chan. And then I came home and I like set a beat, and then I borrowed my dad's claves, and on GarageBand I got like they have like settings for drums, so I got like a couple like little beats there to like work off of, and it was really fun. So the rest of Honey Girl, it's no one cares about this, but it's called Honey Girl Niña de Miel because it's a bilingual album. And it's kind of weird because some songs are going to be like super Cuban beats and I'm singing in English, and other songs are like bluesy or folksy, and sometimes a little bit of it is in Spanish or the whole thing is in Spanish. Some songs are completely in English and they're just, you know, regular folky songs. But yeah, so that's what the album is, because it's just me exploring myself, and it feels nice.
It's all
So
parts of you, like
Yeah.
all
it's
coming to
all
one
these little
together.
bits of me.
And
Yeah,
I think like it's great like having music that is kind of like you have that Cuban beat, but in English, like that's exactly who we are. We're people who have that Cuban rhythm and beat inside of us. But we are
constantly.
but we live our lives, I mean, usually in whatever language, in Spanglish, really, but like it doesn't matter. The language doesn't matter. It's the music for me. Like music is so universal. So, because you didn't study musical theater, right? You studied.
Oh no, my whole life people I've been made fun of for my voice. Listen to this stupid voice. But I've been made fun of my whole life for my voice, so I've been really shy about singing. But I've played musical instruments since I was 4. So I played the violin from 4 to like 17. And then
What?
at the same time, like my uncle taught me guitar, and I learned when I was like maybe 7, you know. So I was like, "Ooh, stringed instruments are fun." Like I have fancy violin to make my mom happy, and then I have the guitar to like learn that Beatles song that I sing with my uncle. So we kind of like went that route, and then I started working for the Miami Children's Museum like 4 years ago. Almost 5 years ago. Ooh, ooh, yes, Aaron Wilkins. Literally, we have been, Aaron and I have been dressed like a little piggy and an elephant together throwing a ball. I adore her so much.
Or singing songs and me crying and her crying because the songs are so sad and emotional and inspiring.
The song that she's talking about is called Baby Beluga, about a cute little whale that has a bunch of friends.
We like to hear you. That's the Beluga says that the friends all like to hear you because it's true. We do.
It's true.
We
Your
really
friends will always be there for you, and they will always like be a support system to hear you. And then
Didn't
Aaron breaks
Krystal-
down crying.
Yeah,
But that's
didn't
how I
Krystal
started.
write notes like for the show, like Aaron's last day there. Weren't Crystal's notes? What were they? Like,
Oh, she wrote in the email because it was my last day because me and Lorena had moved to Chicago. And in the email, we had to do like a report like, oh, the show went great. We had this amount of people. And Aaron cried in every single one.
You did. And that's how I learned the ukulele, because I found out little babies love ukuleles.
yo, tell me
So I
about
learned with
it.
Aaron. It's so cute.
It was such a
I
fun
really
time.
miss being at the museum, like physically being there with my friends. Gosh, that was good for the soul, man. That was
But
good.
it's still incredible. Like you guys still get to perform a little bit, right? And create a little bit. Like,
Yeah. It's just, it's a different time. This
Yeah.
pandemic has changed every part of all of our lives. I don't think anything has been fully the same for anyone. So, yeah, the museum's a little different now. We're all online, but thankfully it's still existing. And I'm writing songs for babies. And now I'm writing songs for me too.
Oh, look. Wow. Isn't that fabulous to say?
It's so fabulous. I write songs for babies, but I also write songs for my emotions.
For me, because I'm honey, baby.
I mean, yeah, you're a honey girl. Mhm.
Honey girl.
That's me. Honey baby. Damn. That's like
Honey
a sugar
baby.
baby.
I was going to say honey baby in the sheets.
Ooh.
Ooh. And what you at in the streets though? You honey baby in the sheets, but
Honey girl.
Winnie the Pooh in the streets.
Yeah. Why did I love that so much? Maybe my cover art could be just Winnie the Pooh.
Actually, can it just be
Okay.
you in a little red crop top?
That's what I
Winnie
was
the Pooh.
about to
Yes,
say.
me with a little red crop top, just like shoving honey in my mouth.
Make your little ears.
Because we were like,
Little buns.
you're so good at recreating pictures. Like that's
It was
just
so
the
stupid.
truth.
Yeah.
We were talking about your Instagram and how much we love it. But like, yeah, that's right. We're gonna see your Instagram right now.
Oh my God,
Right
qué
now.
pena.
Oh, Lord
Sin
have
pena,
mercy, as
con
my soul.
pena.
Sin pena, con- no, mommy, we have no
Un
pena
poquito.
here. No pena
Un
here.
poquito,
It
a little
does not
sprinkle,
exist.
un chin de pena. A little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
No, but truly,
Oh my
like,
God.
so when with these pictures, do you ever shoot these all yourselves and edit them yourselves? And you're just
Well, the ones you're looking at right now, yeah, I just made that. I was like, I'm bored. I'm
Good
gonna.
at bored
I
as
barely.
And a beautiful backyard and a beautiful wardrobe and a beautiful face.
Yes, but also my beautiful photographer friends make me feel. I mean, this time, like, I
Oh my God.
navigate the world keeping myself very small. I've learned during this pandemic. So it's something I'm working on, and my friends have really elevated me, whether it's supporting me in my little songs or my beautiful photographer friends, Melissa Biblitz, Melissa Sastry, Sunday Ordonez, they all like have just been taking pictures of me and using it for their portfolios and for advertisements and for little zines, and it's really been good for just my like self-worth. Like, oh, I can make myself feel nice even though I'm trapped at home, you know?
Oh,
and
definitely.
make it and look nice. You do. Let me say that.
Oh my God.
I
Yeah,
love you.
and you're also bringing back like, you know, you made a hashtag like about like 50 style, but not the
Oh, vintage style, not vintage values. Yo.
yes, and that's why I think it's really incredible. You're bringing it back, and you're like, we're doing it.
You got it right, they got it wrong.
I just want to like seem like a 50s housewife, but be a very modern woman.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of what my whole Instagram is, which is so silly. But again,
Oh.
quarantine activity, just bored in a pandemic. Before the pandemic, I was, just would post like, hey, I ate the sandwich today, which I still do. But now I'm like, oh,
But
and
now you
also
do it like in
created a
style. You're
scene.
like,
Yes.
like you have a cute background and like it's all in theme and like there's a
This
beautiful
Wonder Bread is from the actual 1950s. Like,
Okay, look,
It is
guys, life
quite a
is super
wonder.
boring. At least might as well make it stylish. Like we're all trapped at home.
Yeah.
Make it
You do-
fun.
you gave us the chance for your music video, Dear John. You let us be witches, and we got to dance the night away.
Oh
was
my
so
God,
cool.
a dream. Basically, theater it was ripped from under us, and I was like, this is a dream role. I'm never going to be Abigail Williams because no one will give me the job because it doesn't exist right now. So I wrote the song, and then I was like, hey guys, do you want to be witches with me? And you're like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, in the middle of a pandemic, there were tests involved and people staying at home. And then it was like, we were so scared and distanced. And then it was like, okay, now we're going to sanitize and hold hands and twirl around a fire.
Yes.
And be in the middle of the forest in 2 separate log cabins.
Okay, guys, we're going camping.
Please bring.
It was very abrupt. What did I say? Please bring Kay.
Oh no, I was gonna say please bring yourself, but bring your masks.
Bring yourself, but bring your masks. But it was very fun. We had a resident fireman that made the fire for us, Casey Sacco's boyfriend man. Thank you, Ralphie. And it was really fun, and it just like was so much time away from friends. It was artistically fulfilling, and like, what's the right word? Like my little heart was fulfilled. Like, I
Yeah,
was like,
emotionally,
oh my God, my little friends, I'm so happy. So yes, it was emotionally fulfilling. I was just so happy. I cried the next day on a kayak with Casey. I was like, I love my friends so much. Just sobbing on a kayak.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say, is that like you wouldn't have maybe not have had this kind of opportunity if it hadn't been for the pandemic, and like the
Oh, not at
possibilities of
all.
making all these things on your own. It's been so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I am scared of, everybody's scared of failing and embarrassing themselves or whatever. But then this whole thing happened. It's like, well, if it goes poorly, I could just say like, quarantine, am I right?
Mhm.
Let's move
This
on.
pandemic.
Oh my God, this
You made-
pandemic. But no, it just like, like who cares? Like we're all kind of a mess in some way. Like just do
Let's
whatever
just be
you want.
creative. Yeah.
That's
Like,
yeah. I
create
feel
your
like
own
everyone's
song.
just everyone's
This
just
is the
trying to
time.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Everybody's
In
trying different
whatever
things.
way is best way
My
for
friend
them to do
Janine
it.
like was like, this week I learned how to sew. Like, that's
Yeah.
cool, man. Good for you.
I get that. Mine was the capitals of the United States,
Yeah.
so I understand.
What do
Mine
you
was the
mean?
ukulele. Oh, let's go
You
back to
are
the
playing the
capitals.
ukulele.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was because of the pandemic. I bought it. I actually checked the date that I bought it, and it was bought on March 27th. I checked. I bought
Definitely a
it
quarantine
so after.
activity.
Yeah, and then like I fell in love. Cater's like, you're gonna buy it and you're never gonna use it again. You're gonna play it once and it's just gonna live there. So I had to prove him wrong.
That's what
I'm
it
like,
takes
no.
sometimes.
Instead, I'm gonna annoy you till day's end.
Yeah, that's our
No,
roommate in
you're
Chicago.
so good.
But
You're
then-
so good at the uke, and you sound so beautiful because you are musical theater. Yo,
She
no,
is.
I've done musicals, but I wasn't musical theater in college.
You are musical theater.
Naturally.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
In a
like, you don't
specific
need
way.
somebody-
Hadestown
No, no.
musical theater, not gypsy
No,
musical
honey.
theater.
I don't know what that means. I know Hades
don't
is
even
from
know what musical
Hercules.
theater
And I don't know. I know Gypsy says everything's coming up roses. I have no
And so
idea.
that's very
No.
little of what yeah, that's what I know too.
Yeah.
And making whipped coffee.
I didn't do that ever, but
I didn't do that either.
I saw everybody do it and I was like, this is cool.
Bro, let me just say, making whipped coffee, I'm like,
cute.
I make espumita all the freaking time, okay?
Let's just
Like,
talk about
let's
it.
not act as though whipped coffee isn't just like a little bit more whipped espumita with a little more fat.
Is
like,
that what it is?
No, I don't think it is. I'm gonna be honest. However, that's what it meant. Like, whenever I see it, I'm like, I feel like we're getting the same thing here.
Yeah. Espumita is so much better because you have Lorena being there, putting it with a lot of love.
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
God, that's
In
something I
there.
really miss. I miss like
Yes.
friends
Oh.
making me coffee, my grandma making me coffee. I miss that so much. Now it's just me making me coffee. It's not as fun.
You
And
know
looking
what?
adorable.
Oh, you're adorable.
I don't even drink coffee myself. I really just wait until like my room
A
is
show or
usually
something.
cater a show. No, in New World, I had a locker dedicated to like my cafetera, and I would take it out and I'd take it to the little break room and I'd make coffee for everybody. And for like Felicia Kurtz, my voice teacher, she would give me money sometimes to get supplies because she's like,
Nice.
because she'd be like, as long as you bring me a cup of coffee, I'll give you $5. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
What a time to
definitely.
be alive.
Or some things, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, my favorite was sophomore year with like the crochets. That's not what it's called.
You were
Corsets.
crocheting?
Yeah,
She does crochet.
Sophomore year.
I did. That was another quarantine thing that I did was
You
crochet.
She covered a whole pillow.
I did. I made a whole pillow cover.
Oh my god, wait, I know someone that's selling crochet earrings.
Yeah.
Whatever, Lola.
Doing them. Yeah, Natalie
that
has
too,
crochet
yes.
earrings.
Whatever, Lola.
And
A
you have
new
another
world
one that
alum.
does it too.
Pearson. Yeah, another new world alum. I mean, she's booming. Like her business.
Oh yeah, man.
We love small business. We support
We
all the small business.
we love friends doing well. That actually, I was telling my friend Nina today. Like I love her so much, but she's one of my like non-acting friends. But I was telling her I get so inspired by all of my friends because when I'm losing motivation and I see just work happening, creativity happening, it sparks me. I get so excited and proud of them, and I'm like, oh my god, let's make stuff together. I'll make things. You'll make, like, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
And even if it's so unrelated, like Natalie is making little crocheted adorable flower earrings, cute. I'll be like, okay, well now my day's gonna go better. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. I'm just so proud of my friends. It's really lovely.
I mean,
proud
and
of you
you-
guys in your quarantine activities.
You're one of those friends for many people. Just
No,
so you know, and for
all I do
me,
is
like
embarrass myself.
no, honey,
No,
absolutely
not
not.
even close.
Not even close. Like you are 100% an inspiring friend. Like you're one of the ones that I also see, and I'm like, oh my god, Krystal's doing another song. It's so beautiful. Oh my god, look at this post. Oh my, like you,
Hi.
like, and I know that that quarantine for you has been hard, which is
Oh my
like,
god.
yeah, like, whew. But you have been doing it, honey. Even with Little Montgomery, I was so grateful that I was able to go to the park and like listen
That
to
was
it.
It was
awesome.
awesome. We were
Thanks.
all together. It was
It was
separate, and
so cute.
it
Yes.
felt like, I don't know, it felt, it was because we can't see a show, right? So that was like a very
It-
nice to be in
yeah,
a
it
room
was such a
again.
nice feeling to just everybody. It was just outside, but having a group of people experiencing something together. Aside from that, so yeah, it was really nice to have you guys there. That was the sweetest. That was honestly like highlight. That was one of the 2020 highlights for sure. What a
Oh,
year.
2020, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
seriously.
It started great. I was in Costa Rica surfing. I was getting married. I was doing cute little plays for fancy companies. Y entonces, ¡prup! That was the ceiling collapsing. I don't think you could see it.
I saw it and I felt it too.
Yeah, it was bad for all of us. But
Yeah.
little
I
things.
mean, for literally all of us too. Like,
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like nobody's been like, "Oh, my life is the same. I'm fine."
Oh,
Like,
this
no.
is wonderful. This has cured all my problems, actually.
You're on
Yeah,
the phone,
like-
they're like, have you been affected by COVID-19?
Yes,
Who hasn't been affected by COVID-19? Am I right?
have you been affected? Like just the SpongeBob meme. Like, have you been affected by COVID-19?
1,000,000%. Yes. I'm trying to think who wouldn't be affected. Even Ian's dad, who's like, "Oh, at the beginning he's like, well, I never go out anyway. I don't like hanging around people." I was like, "That's great that you're introverted. Good for you. He's a lovely human." And but I think even he, like, you know, I miss him. I think he misses us. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you miss
Definitely.
people. You miss your people. You guys
Yeah.
are good people.
My grandmother was saying, she's like, I didn't like to go out, but I just miss saying no to people. That's what she said. She's like, I miss like
That was
your
a
mom
luxury.
inviting me somewhere and then me being like, no, I have
Oh.
cagaleras. Like, you know, so now she can't.
Yeah, you can't bail on your friends.
The
You can't.
choice.
You're just stuck at home. Let me tell you, I do. So I lived a very spoiled life before the pandemic. So my abuela would make all the food for me. So Tata spoiled me. So she spoiled me my whole life with just delicious stuff, and I took it for granted. I'd be like, I don't want to real eat vaca frita again. And now I'm like, I wish I had a recipe for vaca frita. I need it now. So now that I live alone, well, with my husband, and ew, I'm so grown up. But now that I live with the cute boy that I snagged, I was like, oh, I don't know how I got this, but I got him. I reeled him in. And I live with him now, and we didn't know how to cook before this pandemic because, yeah, we were spoiled. I feel like Ian cooked more than I did. So what I do is I go online and I'm like, I'm gonna look up a bon appetit recipe. So I'm
Mhm.
so extra. It's like instead of learning how to like cook chicken, it's like, no, here's this fancy million ingredient chicken. And then I get overwhelmed and I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to just casually make chicken. Because how? I never learned how. I just know how to take 3 hours to cook something. So I cook about once or twice a week tops.
That's a lot. Like
And
that.
I make
That's
like
so
some
good.
ridiculous meal, and then Ian cooks like twice a week, and then the other days we're usually like what's left over or what's we're bad and we get takeout. But yeah, so experiment with food, guys. What's your favorite? Like, do you guys have like a tata figure? Like, do you have a favorite meal that's homemade?
My
Oh
family doesn't
man.
cook. My mother would get rotisserie chicken from Winn-Dixie and mashed potato.
Which one? The
Um,
lemony one?
oh, we love the lemony one or
I love the
traditional.
lemon
Because,
one.
she
Yeah.
loves that. And
Yeah.
just like other things, but my grandmother my grandmother doesn't sew either, or like know how to
That's
do
such a
much.
specific grandma thing. It's so funny. You're like, she also doesn't sew.
Yeah, because
Yeah, she doesn't have the blue cookie tin with sewing supplies. Nope, not for
no,
Does she
her.
put her pots and her pans inside her oven?
no, because she doesn't have any. No,
What does she
she
need them
doesn't.
for?
Yeah, what to bang? Fidel, he's dead.
Yes.
Banging him outside. Like, yeah, then sure. She's got two. She's got two solid ones.
Two for banging.
Good
Specifically
for
just
banging.
for banging. Yep, that's it.
What
Her
You
head
have
too.
like your banging pots, like for sure. Like we have the specific Miami Heat like playoff championship
Yeah, exactly.
pans that
Miami Heat won, Biden won, something like
like
that. You're gonna go
anything.
out there
Yeah,
and slap some pans.
yeah. They're gonna pot and pan it up. You're gonna make sure it's nice and loud.
It's a gorgeous camaraderie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what my favorite food is, but like for some reason I just keep thinking of ropa vieja because that is like for
So-
me that's more of a meal that I wish like it's not my favorite, but I wish I had it more available to me because I don't know how to make it. Like my
Exactly.
mom knows
So
how to make
la
it.
cafita is the same thing, but without the sauce. It's
Oh
like
no.
imagine
Well,
like a
that's what I figured,
curry
right?
version of it,
Crunchy. It's delicious.
like
And
a
shredded.
crunchier, lemonier version
Mm.
of
Yeah,
ropa vieja.
yeah.
Those two meals, like, please, one day Tata's gonna give us a tutorial and we're gonna learn
Yeah,
because
man.
it's just so good. Like I feel like it's a skill set, even if it's not your favorite thing to make. Just knowing how to make that, like
Yeah.
that's
I wanna,
history. That's
I
family
wanna learn.
history right there.
Yes.
So good.
Literally.
Tostones. My grandma did a tostones tutorial video for the Miami Children's Museum,
Oh
and
my
it is
God.
the most adorable. I think we've been working for so many months and I've created so much content, but my favorite thing that we have made from the Miami Children's Museum is the Tatas Tostones video. So I'm gonna send it to you and we can make tostones. They're so good.
Please. Oh my God. And
Yeah.
thank you, Miami Children's.
Yes, thank you, Miami Children's, for spreading Tata's light. Aaron and I love eggs. And so that was the first moment that I was like, this woman needs to be in my life forever. I need to put her in my pocket. She's here to stay. She loves eggs.
Honestly, eggs are they're so
Yeah,
versatile.
and like
Dude,
the
I don't even know why I
artistry.
was talking about you the other day that I'm like, oh yeah, Erin really likes eggs. Like after living with her, I could see.
Like I love versatile food. I love plátanos, I love potatoes, and I love eggs. So Ian and I call each other potatoes, and Aaron and I are obsessed with it.
And I look like an egg.
I look like an egg
Smells
too.
like one too. Well, Krystal, tell us about some cool things you've got coming up. Yeah.
My life
Some
is lame.
2021
I'm just
Krystal.
creating things. Some 2020. What year is it? 2021. Jesus. What am I doing? I have thankfully some things happening up until mid-March, and then I'm like, oh, there's absolutely nothing.
Are they secret
Oh,
projects?
no.
Or...
Yeah. Well, I got hired. There's a 2-person play happening at a theater company that I've wanted to work for 5 years called Urbanite Theater. I only auditioned for them, I think just once, years ago because I was available for a show that I think I was like, oh, I fit this, and I love space stuff. I am such a nerd, so I was like, sci-fi theater. I love it. I wanted to be an astronaut when I was little. So there's that. And I drove all the way 5 hours away to audition, and I went back home. They liked me. Drove another 5 hours there, 5 hours back for a callback, but I didn't get it. And then years and years later, I get to be in their 2-person play during a pandemic, which is amazing. So it's weird. I'm like learning my lines now, and in 2 weeks, they're treating it like a film. So I just go up there for like a couple days, like 4 or 5 days, film it, and goodbye, play.
So
Wow.
cool. Will it be available
Yeah.
for streaming?
It's not like a streaming thing. It's like a interactive Miami Multiple Stories Amparo kind of a thing in your pods. So they're creating a like really cool sci-fi space. I'm not making that clear. Like a tech place, like imagine like Silicon Valley kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So they're making the entire theater, like the whole thing, the lobby, everything, a virtual walking like theater experience. And it's just me and some dude, and I'm really excited. So I got that coming up, and Honey Girl I'm working on. Once I like solidify my songs, I've already started recording some of them. I'll send them to be mixed and mastered. So I'm not at that step yet, but I
Wow.
hope to get them all recorded this upcoming month in February. So by March, they're sent, and by April or May, I guess, but hopefully April, they're ready, and I can just be like, here you go, world, bye. But that's kind of it. And I have a cool like film project happening that I can't talk too much about, but that's gonna be really cool. And
And have what about your play readings?
I have some of the I do have some of those coming up too. Gosh, you guys are making me aware that I constantly beat myself up, but I really am blessed right now, and it's really nice.
You're
So
always
thanks.
working. You're always doing something. That's why you inspire us, because no matter what, even if there's like a little gap, you're always, no matter what, doing something, and you always push
Yeah.
yourself. It's incredible.
And
Thanks.
creating. You're like, you really are a creator. Like, you've been
I'm
like,
trying my best. I do
Yeah.
NCP labs because I want all my friends to be like, there's this word I learned because of Elena Maria Garcia, this like phrase. I love her so much. I worked on her
Absolutely,
in
yes.
House of Blue Leaves, and she was my roommate, and we would watch HGTV and what is it, Trading Spaces, and put on face masks and drink tea and just
I love that so
just
much.
be silly, adorable humans together. And I was like, this is my kind of person. She's my people. I love her. But she taught me what a multi-hyphenate is.
Mm.
And I didn't have the confidence to be a multi-hyphenate until during this pandemic, when I learned what it was, I was like, my God, we should all be multi-hyphenates right now. So with NCP Lab, like you come in, it's like a virtual thing where everybody's just encouraged to write work. Like, you don't think you're a writer, tough titties, you're gonna try. And you go out there, you write like a 5-page play on a prompt that I give, or a 10-page play. Everybody's reading each other's work. Sometimes people do part 2s, part 3s. People have developed full-length plays from our stuff. And it's movies, like movies.
Yes.
And it's just been cool. So like, I'm not the only one creating. My friends all of you are awesome. Like, you're all creating. Think of what you're doing. Like, you've learned new instruments, and you're like, let me heighten my language of the United States of America. Now I know all of the capitals. Like, how quirky and cute and lovely. And also, like, why not? Why not know it? There's a time. It's dumb how little I know about geography. At least you know it.
No, I'm convinced every information we learn, that's gonna be a question on Jeopardy, and then we're gonna win the money, because
We're gonna get that money.
we're gonna get Alex Trebek, we love you. All right.
Circling back to NCP Lab though, like that goes hand in hand with what we were talking about, that you are one of those friends that inspires people to keep creating and making content. Because if it weren't for NCP Lab, I mean,
Yeah, so we're gonna do lab for the most part, just twice a month as we usually do, but we're going to have like very specific labs sometimes, and then our regular lab. So we'll have one that's usual lab every month, and then so something consistent, and one that's going to be a prompt or long form, or like trying something new, like literally try something new, like play a song, do do a monologue you wrote, something fun.
Do some
Read your own
improv.
work. Yeah, do improv. Actually, we have this amazing human. Honestly, this pandemic has brought me together with amazing human beings. This guy Fawad, so funny, so full of like honesty and love. He's just such a funny guy. I don't understand it. And he does improv and with like action figures through Zoom. And I'm like, why don't we just do that as our opener for lab one time? That's so funny to me. So, you know, like, why not? So I'm mixing it up because life is too short to be bored.
Yeah. And when there's so many other, not that like what you're doing is great, but there's other things to do and you can always circle back and do that thing too. Like, it's not that it's boring, but it's great to be inspired and just see different things.
Yeah.
And do new things, all that. Yeah.
I say everybody just try to be open to letting themselves be inspired. Like, you got to be in the mindset of like, I'll let this art filter through me. Because, you know, that just takes some vulnerability. We all got this. But my friends are pretty awesome. You guys are great.
And I think we wanted to talk a little bit about men on boats because we did all on boats together.
Yes, we did for Main Street Players, which I hope, shameless, I hope I get to work there again. I love you guys. But I do like think back to that time really fondly because it was just like,
yeah, what are some favorite memories?
A bunch of women, first day, with like nooses around our tummies. Like, we were like, we had a rope that was like an aggressive knot around us, and we tied ourselves to each other to try to figure out our boat. We cut that eventually because everybody was in pain. But it was very funny to do. And the first day we just were in a circle. Started screaming, oh, circle jerk.
Yeah, because we attached all our carabiners. We put all our carabiners together.
We connected them because it was like, you know, we're all men on this boat now. So I've never had the opportunity to be a circle jerk. So, you know, YOLO, you only live once. So I can now say when I die, I did a circle jerk with my friends.
and we did a circle jerk before every single show.
Yes, it became a thing because that first day it was like, let's hook up and how about circle jerk? Okay, yeah, that's a pump up. A pump up. And everybody said circle jerk and it was beautiful. So I think that was one of my favorite memories. I really loved one of, I think, my favorite scenes I've ever acted in my life was taking my pants off in front of an audience to pretend that people are falling off of a cliff. yanking like Amy up. It was really amazing because I feel like we went beyond. There are boundaries in theater of like what's expected and appropriate, and we just kind of got to be. There are expectations for women that are still really sexist. Like, why can't we be silly and strong and like intentionally funny and ugly and gritty and sweaty and gross? And that show gave us all the opportunity to explore that in ourselves and share it with everyone. So I had a blast. Like, every single time that we did that show, it was just an adrenaline rush of yelling.
I would like, because usually before a show, like, I get so nervous, and of course I get nervous before the show too, but it's like literally we would just be like, you know, laughing back there, like, you know, being fools, and then next thing you know, it's like, all right guys, places, and then we would be like in the line, and I remember Trees and I were in the same boat with Tritney.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I remember what I tell her, I'm like, we are about to do a show, you know that? Like, I cannot believe it right now. And then it starts, and we would go.
Yeah, I mean, that was the best part, was going out on stage in that line, like, all together, because it was like...
That was pretty great. I also will say that one of the best was, don't go chasing waterfalls. It's just like the climax of the play. Something massive has just happened. You're like, oh, this is bad. And it got really serious. Like, oh no. And then the whole company comes out and just like sad, exhausted twerks and zombie walks for a 2-minute transition of waterfalls.
Yep. As we're like dying, like we're crawling back to our places. Like,
and also kudos to Danny for letting us. He's like, I know I'm a man directing a play for women, but because of this, I'm gonna let them have artistic freedom. Like, I am gonna be a collaborator. Not some directors are not collaborators, and I think that he really was for that project. I had a lovely time. It was just like
he invited everything.
He knows that
he
too.
invited ideas and was like, screw it, let's try it. And something ridiculous would happen, and instead of him being like, sometimes he'd be like, okay guys, reel it in, because we were crazy.
Oh my God, when he reeled in Aaron's ding ding ding, that was the only time that I'm like,
I was like, darn it, Danny. But he really let us like, what? Not a lot of directors are like, just try it. Like, try it. You guys have to all pretend like you're on drugs because you're so tired. Do it. Some of the most fun rehearsals. Also, we were all in so much pain but swole, I feel, because we were rowing our boats. I went kayaking alone during this pandemic at one point, and I was like, oh God, I mean, no, this is like white people stuff. Like, this is not something that my Cuban family's like, let's go kayaking. Like, that does not happen. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go kayaking. I'm going to try it out. And while I was there, I was like, how do I do this? And literally, I used my skills. I used my skills of us rowing our boat. So theater, you can learn something from it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes. How to switch your hands and hold the paddle.
You can switch your... Sure, I was pretending to row, but we're experts now, guys. Let's throw ourselves into the can.
I always told my mom, we're expert squatters too, because that was basically what it was. It was just squat. Like
the world was thankful when we left that production, because we were all like booties tight, walking out of there, just like, check it out, world.
Oh my God, look at me and trees.
Oh, remember hugging your friends?
That was
hugging my friends.
That was really wonderful.
That's also another thing of that show.
Remember touching
so touchy.
We were very touchy. You know, me and Krystal were, we made this thing. This was not in the script, but I don't know how it happened. But next thing, there was some like inclination. Inclination is that the right word? That we were in a relationship.
We were lovers.
In love. We were lovers.
But it was revealed like one of the last moments of the whole play, when it's
as you guys were saying goodbye. It was during the despedida of the people, and you guys would give each other that hug, and you guys would go like
because Krystal, and I don't know what it was, but like Krystal, like I'd hug you, and like every time you would surprise me with a new noise that I was like, I'm ready, like we're taking this in. You know, and I'm convinced it made sense, you know, because I had to switch on her boat. Our boat crashed. Our boat, me and Trees'
she became
boat,
one of us.
Became on that boat. So you know what? It could have easily happened when I went on that boat. Okay.
Exactly.
There was no whiskey, but it was still good.
Character development, you know.
No whiskey. We lost the whiskey. That's right.
True love doesn't need whiskey. Okay.
That's right. That's what I'm trying to say.
That conga line was so much fun.
Oh God, I forgot. It's just the whole show was fun.
It was.
It
felt like
SNL
like
that. It's
every
like
night.
I just really miss theater, and like
locking eyes with someone and laughing, or like locking eyes and it's like, okay, we know what just happened, but we're in a show, so we got to keep going. Okay, bye. Yeah. Like you're like, okay, you're my friend, but right now you're done. Yeah, like, you know.
With that show, you never knew what to truly. Like, I remember still the show where Krystal throws me the rope, and I grab the rope and I yank it out of her hand. I'm like, well, now this rope is mine.
Well, this is where we're at. I guess I'll die now.
Yeah, because then Krystal started laughing. I started laughing. I'm like, okay. And then I tried throwing the rope back. I'm like, this is just not going to work. It's okay.
Yeah,
it was the kind of show that like it was very hard not to break laughing.
Oh my God, every night,
the entire time, because
for every person.
Again, as long as you're there enjoying your friends being hilarious, it's very hard not to like break completely and be unprofessional.
Yes. Do we remember the part of that there was no audience members on the stage, because the seating was that it was on stage and there was on the floor, and then we were like in the middle of that and like in front of the audience members on the stage, so it was like a very little amount. And there's a part like we're introducing ourselves, the 4 boats come out, and
no one is there.
So one thing that Danny had us do was he wanted us to look at both sides, like include both sides of the audience members.
But this was the first time there was no one on the other side.
So, and it caught us by surprise. It was the very beginning of the play. Like it had just started. So, as smart actors, you would be like, oh, let me. So what, so what did Lorena do?
And I just want to say before that, I was already laughing because I saw that there was nobody, because our boat, Trees, Tritney, and I, our boat, when we first got out, we turn and look at the blank audience. So I was already giggling because I was like, we just made this big commotion for nobody. And she gets to her part, and please let her do it, please.
My name is William Dunn. I am okay, and then I just like I turned to that side and I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my breath on nothing.
Of course not.
So I just,
but
you're not gonna perform to
said,
ghosts.
Okay, yes,
you were like, okay, and
yeah, like okay.
We all cracked. We all cracked. It was
I mean, what was I gonna? Please say that I am a hunter, a trapper, and an innovator to no one.
they had to
I needed to let the audience know, the audience that was there,
right
on one side.
The 4 cats. We gotta let them know.
But it was a fun time.
It was. It was
time.
It was a gift every time the show would finish, and also it's just
because
the connection we had.
Yeah,
that is.
You guys
are
are little gifts.
You are a gift. That is.
It was 10 women who or 10 people who could just really work together, and there weren't many egos there. Like there weren't. It was just kind of just like
it was a good time.
We were all on one boat.
We're men on boats.
Mm-hmm. We were all on the same boat, the same wave, the same wave. Is that the right phrase?
Yeah.
The same wave.
We were on a boat, so we could have a wave.
Okay. No, because I've heard people say that, like, I don't say vibe or anything like that, or energy, whatever, but people said, oh, the same wave. I think Lorena said it.
Yeah,
she keeps me hip. Trees and Lorena, I haven't been on Instagram in 10 months, and Trees and Lorena keep me so hip, and Trees always updates me and lets me know what's going on.
When you're creating music, do you like have a chord progression? Do you kind of just like...
Yeah, it depends on the song. Like sometimes I'll like...
Or how do you create it, I guess, is more what I'm asking. Yeah.
So sometimes I look into chord progressions that are typical in like genres I like. So like even some songs are like, I'll never release them because it's stupid, but I'll be like, I want to do a 50s doo-wop song. What are the chord progressions for 50s doo-wop songs? So I won't look up a 50s doo-wop song. I'll like research what the typical chord progressions are supposed to be. And I'll be like, oh, okay, from this, what can I make? And then I did the same with blues, and I did the same with jazz, and I did the same with folk music. Yeah. And then I started doing it for like what's considered Cuban folk. And I was like, wow, it's actually identical to American folk. It's just the strumming pattern is different, which is really cool. Like if you play, there's one Celia Cruz song that I was like, this is literally a folk chord progression. That's amazing. So I've been learning that stuff. So sometimes I'll start just with music. And I'll abandon it. I'll be like, hey, this is like a cute little chord progression. And here's a little humming pattern that I came up with. So this is like musically what it'll be. And I've started reteaching myself how to write and read music so that way I can like, because what I would do is I would only record it. And that was my only way of being like, this is what the melody is. So now I actually have my little notes and I'm like, oh, that's what I did. So when I solidify it, I do write it down, which is really cool. So yeah, sometimes I start music first and then I'll write lyrics later. Like when I'm inspired, I'm like, oh, I remember I had this little rhythm for this. Here's a little poem I started writing. Let me see if it fits. So that's sometimes what I do. And other times, like I had a really emotional day right before the end of 2020 and I just wanted to walk in the beach for hours, and I just wrote my thoughts like a stream of consciousness, and from that I made a song. So I started with lyrics for that one, and then I was like, ooh, can I rhyme, like these two rhyme. The writing scheme isn't like clear because it was stream of consciousness, but let me make it work. So I make it work and then I write music for it. And it's been really fun.
That's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
And because I was gonna ask you, like, do you do lyrics or music first? And you just you answered all of the questions, but that's
it just
amazing.
kind of depends, yeah, because
Yes.
you know, like Dear John, I literally watched the movie. I watched The Witch, and I was like, ooh, this is my vibe. This is where I'm at right now. And then at like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is fitting towards witches, I I just wrote it. I found the chords, and as I was trying to find the melody, I was already writing the lyrics. It was really fast because it's an easier song, really, if you like break it down. It's a simple song, but I like it. My little song. Speaking of roles, so I only have I allow myself to have only 2 dream roles. So it's Abigail in The Crucible and Maggie the Cat in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. So Ian and I have wanted a pet, and we want a dog really badly, but we have new furniture. Well, Ian's like, you know what would be great if we just had like an outdoor cat, you know, like that's the commitment that we can do right now. And then when we get a puppy, it's not going to be a big deal. I was like, it's a great idea. It's like God heard us and was like, all right, I'll throw you a cat. And this adorable little cat came by, and we've been taking care of her for a month, and it's been like, whatever, hey cat. And she just keeps coming by, even though we don't give her food. And all of a sudden we're like, we should give her food. She looks a little hungry. Like, let's do it. Little by little, she's become our cat. So I called her today Maggie the Cat. Oh my God. Can I see her? After my dream role.
You have to show us.
Yeah. In a battle, I had my character represented like the spirit of Kua, and her name was Mar. And it was connected to the ocean and the Santeria with Yemaya and Oshun, and how Oshun is the same as the patron saint of Cuba, and like Caridad de Cobre, like that. So when Spain took over, it's like everybody has to be Catholic, and all the Santeros are like, what? So they found their deities in Catholic religion. So that's why Santeria is the way Santeria is, because San Lazaro, all these parallels that are actually really beautiful, really, really beautiful. And it was so cool to explore. So I think that's also why, because I did that play for 5 months, and I was like, wow, cool. I don't know enough about other religions and my own culture, because that is part of my family culture. My dad's mom was a Santera and a Catholic at the same time. Like, she would practice rituals from both religions constantly because it's just part of her upbringing. And that's so freaking cool, guys. Man, I can't wait to keep learning about my family. That's what my main focus is, I think, right now.
This has been very fun.
It has been so fun. I love talking to you guys. Thanks for having me on this. It made me feel so special.
Yeah.
You guys are the best. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Always. It's so cool you're doing this. Look at you, multi-hyphenates. Proud of you.
we have so many sin pena people around us. So, and honestly, at this point, to live life is to just live it sin pena, because nobody knows what's happening. So
we're all in this together.
Yep, we really are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Darling, light of my life.
Hey, this is Sabor de Miel, coming to you live from my closet. Han sido muchos días que no te veo. Quiero decirte que te extraño, pero no puedo. Ya no disfruto nada, pero algún día te voy a ver otra vez. Yes, eso. Tienes tremendo sabor de miel, listo para comer. Tienes tremendo sabor de miel, listo para comer. Y dicen lo que está para ti, nadie te lo quita. No sé si eres mío, pero quiero ver tu sonrisa. Quizás estás en mí, pero algún día te voy a ver otra vez. Sí. Tienes tremendo sabor de miel, listo para comer. Tienes tremendo sabor de miel, listo para comer. Y no sé cuándo te voy a ver. Abrázame fuerte, y quizás después, yes, eso. Tienes tremendo sabor de miel, tienes tremendo sabor, tienes tremendo sabor de miel, tienes tremendo sabor. Tienes tremendo sabor de miel.
You can check out her original music like Sabor de Miel anywhere you listen to music.
You can also follow her on Instagram at Krystal Millie.
Send us a DM if you have a Scene Pena project you'd like to share with us at Scene Pena Pod on Instagram. Scene Pena is sponsored by Main Street Players. Make sure to visit their Instagram at Main Street Players.
You can also visit their website for any information on future events. And if you donate $25 or more, you will receive an I Make Theater Happen original t-shirt.
Your contribution to local theater companies helps to make theater happen.
Scene Pena is sponsored by Magic City Media.
For any video, audio, and streaming services, you can reach out to Magic City Media at magiccitymediaco.com for more information on how to book a session.
You can also follow them on Instagram at Magic City Media Co.
Thanks for listening and live Scene Pena!